What a beautiful opening. And it brings you to here, which is this modern pagoda. And I was thinking the ancient temple will be next to it. But no, apparently what they're saying is we have to walk through the jungle for the next hour. Now, I have no water, and on a day that's as humid as this, 90%, I'm going to have to watch myself a bit because an hour in is an hour out. Obviously, there's no signs, and if I was to trip or something, I'm in bloody trouble. I'm absolutely shocked. The adventure aspect of this is turning into something, well, a little bit worrying. Now, the problem is, this, as I imagined. Let me just clamber over this trunk. Oh, dear me. We're not an awful lot, a lot of a way in. And already, this path is pretty indistinguishable. Now, the point you have to stop in a jungle is, when the path starts to fork, i.e. there's two possibilities, which I absolute guarantee will happen. For now, oh gosh, we could see it's going this way. But if this forks, it's, oh gosh, look at that. It's all just boulders up there. If this forks, it's down we go. Oh. Path now leads to no path. Pure jungle heading into the mountains. It's a little bit worrying, but I'm not going to push my luck. If this path doesn't appear soon, it's back down we go. Right, I've been going for some time now, and what we have are these enormous, cliff face to my right I seem to be following. And I'm extremely thirsty. I'm not going to die or anything. I'm just damn thirsty. I've made the classic mistake of not bringing water. But while I'm recording this, it's in the distance. Can you hear that? I can hear music. And it's most welcome. Next step is down this way. This is getting a trifle stranger. The path is now so narrow, you see that? It just drops off the side. So it's getting more hazardous. And I seem to be here. Okay, I'm having to film this without a microphone because I'm hoping you can pick up some of the music. That sort of temple up in these cliffs here, they wouldn't let me film, which is wholly understandable. What they did do was gave me some water, and I need it badly. It is unbelievably humid at this time of year. As I said, it can be 90%, and I've suffered from dehydration before, and don't think it's a laughing matter. It is really crippling. Apparently, the guy says this path can be dangerous. I was going to use the word tricky there, but I said, well, if you don't see me in 2 hours, come looking for me. So we're going to head this way. It's not foolish at the moment. This path hasn't forked. There's been no two choices. It's just one path marching through the jungle. So onward we go. This is a little more adventurous than I would go for. It's right on the borderline of my acceptability of danger, basically. But as I say, if this path splits, I'm splitting as well. It was at this point I'm filming the outro. You know, that's it. I couldn't find the temple. But luckily, as I went back down the path, yet again, good fortune smiles upon me. I found one of those priests from that little temple next to the cliff face. And he said, you need to negotiate that big tree. And that's exactly what I did. We're back on the road again. The path, the last bit I showed you was over there. because this enormous tree and everything's come down and it's completely screened the path here. But I went back to that little pagoda and the gentleman was very kind. And oh gosh, oh God, don't lose the water. Oh my God, no. No. Oh gosh. No, that's the last thing I need to lose at the moment. Come here, you. Uh-oh, vines around the legs. Oh gosh, there's a lot of ants. Right, hold on. Careful, bee. Right, okay. A gentleman from that pagoda, he actually helped me. And he says, what I need to do is follow this cliff face. But then there's a ladder or something I need to go up. So onward we go yet again. This is where we've come from. It's just staggering, isn't it? I was expecting to get off my bike and walk a few yards or something. But it wasn't. And look here. He was right. In the middle of the jungle is these stairs. But it takes me on the way to the temple, but it's not actually the temple that's up here. This is just to get me up onto the next plateau. Right, this is a bit scary for someone who's not so good with heights. Look at that stairway. It's less of a stairway, more of a ladder. It's an unbelievably steep drop. So I clambered up here, grasping onto that railing, which I'm desperately thankful for. I've had to do this before without a railing, and it's horrifying. But here they actually have a good one. So it's fair now back into the jungle, and he says it's another 20-30 minutes. Again, the same rule applies. If we see a splitting path, we split. We're about halfway, and look over there. Can you see the opposite mountains? That gives you an idea as to how high I've climbed. And the closer we get, we keep seeing these prayer flags. And then, at long last, after an awfully long journey, I crested the hill. And here, may I introduce to you the temple I thought I would never find. Wow. I keep files at home so I can keep a track of which temples I've been in. And if there's something really special, on that files at the end, it'll have the word epic. And this site will certainly have that. I don't know if you can see, but there's so much sweat. It's actually sweat. The water has gone not only from my crutch, it's run all the way down my legs to below my knees. I don't know if you can see that, this dark stain. That's sweat that has now reached all the way down to here. It is 90% humid. And I don't know if you can see what's literally just started right now, and that is rain, which is potentially the worst thing you could have apart from darkness on a slippery mountain trail, as I've just negotiated. But there's not a lot I can do about it. It's time to film this temple before this turns into proper monsoon rain. I'm going to have to be jolly careful. Okay, so here we go. This is up in the Coulon mountain range. It is an absolute beauty of a temple. And as I say, what an epic journey to come here. Look at this broad base. There's a solid reason for that, because, well, with all this rain and wind up here, you don't want subsidence. Just the quickest looks round the back, in case, you know, these videos are used for any historical reason. Maybe the poor sausage will tumble down and they'll wonder, you know, what was it actually like, you know, way back when, in the year 2022. Well, this is what it looks like. And to me, he looks absolutely grand. He's a stocky little fellow, isn't he? But the story, of course, is out the front here. So let's start from the beginning. There was once a proper stairway or something here. It's all been reclaimed by the jungle as nigh on 1,000 years has passed. But somebody comes here and they look after it so well. It is absolutely gorgeous. And as we get closer, hopefully it's not just the colourful offerings you'll see here. We actually have a linga. Now this is obviously a modern one, but it's great to see anyway. And there is a god in residence. Wow. Now I'm going to have to squat all the way down with my sweat-laden trousers so I can actually tell the story here. This, as I said, is ancient, without a doubt. But somebody has had this cast in concrete and lugged it up this mountainside. And the only way was via that track. And that, quite simply, is worthy of note. Because if that doesn't show devotion, what does? Now allow me very quickly just to explain what this is. This is a linga. It's a Shiva linga representing Shiva. And what ancients would have done is they would have come here and poured water over the linga. It would have run down. It would have gone along this trough here and it would have gone outward. But when it left here and dripped down, it would have been blessed water. So this is where they would have come for their blessings. And this here is Shiva, who is still in residence nigh on 1,000 years later. The greatest privilege of what I do is I have days that I will remember. Today is one of those days I know I will never forget. I could be laying on my deathbed and I'll say, oh, I remember that time I had to go through the blinking jungle and so on and so on. And saw that magical moss-covered staircase that took me up onto a plateau that led to the top of the mountain, that led to the home of a god that was still in residence. I'm sorry. I get myself into some crazy positions sometimes. I really do. I mean, just very quickly, I went home once and I looked down into the shower tray and it was full of blood. I'd been through flooded fields and I didn't realise I was covered in leeches. Another time, the walls were moving whilst I was in a temple. It turned out they were rats. But my particular favourite was when I got on my bike after leaving a temple. I was driving along. I looked at the handlebars and there was a snake on the handlebars. And I'm honestly on my mother's grave. I get myself into some positions. But my God, these are the days I remember. And that makes them golden days, and it's thanks to these temples. I very much hope you've enjoyed this little adventure, and please do join me next time. And if by chance you could help me build a catalogue of these ancient forgotten temples, then building that library with me, I would be truly, truly grateful. The way to do that is simple. It's www.patreon.com/temples. As always, I wish you absolutely nothing but the very best. You take good care now.